This is the Orangutan hopup unit for the Action Army AAP-01. It's easy to print, it's easy to install, and you do not need to go buy screws or any other hardware. It shoots pretty accurately, and I've been testing it with 0.32 gram BBs, and it's super easy to adjust. As you can see, the adjustment is right there behind the bolt, and no disassembly required. Here's the factory hop unit. It's got this little wheel here that you adjust, which moves this little metal plate up and down. The wheel has a spiral shape in it, which pushes on this little tab here, and that's what puts the pressure on your hop rubber, and that's what puts the spin on your BBs. The stock hop-up isn't bad, but it could use some improvement. The most noticeable issue with this system is it has a tendency to curve your BBs to the left. This is because the wheel pulls on the left side, so there's slightly more pressure on the left side of the rubber, so your BBs are given a slight spin towards the left. My design pushes directly from the top, which provides more stable and more uniform pressure on the hop rubber, meaning your shots will be straighter. It's also designed to be sturdy and stable, meaning your shots will be more consistent and have tighter groupings. I printed mine on a bamboo P1S out of ordinary PLA. You want to print them in this orientation. The main chamber and the barrel clips should be upright, and the arm clip should be on their sides for the best strength. The plate needs to be positioned upright so that the layer lines are like this for the best consistency in your shots. Make sure to use supports. I found that the tree supports work pretty well. The way the main chamber is oriented requires it to have this sort of raft here, but it's really important not to have overhangs on the inside, so it needs to be printed with that side down. Nearly all my settings I just left at the default. The wall printing order set to outer inner rather than the default of inner outer is a little bit better for the tolerances, but it's probably not that big of a deal. 100% infill is probably the best, but I just made this one with the default like 20% or whatever it is, and it's fine. There aren't many spaces in the model bigger than just the wall thickness anyway. One thing to note is this adjustment dial part gets this kind of staircase pattern on it just because it's made in layers. Putting this part separately with a thinner layer height of like 0.12 or 0.08 even will give you finer adjustment. Now on to post-processing. There isn't a whole lot to do, but there are a few things to note here. First, the hop window needs to be clear. The hop arm and the plate need to be able to freely move up and down as you adjust the wheel, but it should fit well enough that they don't wobble side to side. If you get stringing like I did here, make sure to cut it out. It's important that you cut away the supports on the arm and on the plate so that they fit into the window. The plate should be smooth so the pressure from the hop is evenly applied on the rubber. If you have imperfections like this, either reprint the part or sand it down until it's smooth. Be sure to eliminate any stringing or any other debris on the inside, especially around the front where the hop rubber sits and the nozzle engages. This circular part here is where the wheel attaches, and mine was misshapen like this so that the wheel won't fit. You might have to clip or sand off this little deformity here. So if you don't know how to take your AAP apart, here's how you do it. You push on this button on the back and they pop apart. You take an Allen key and you unscrew these two hex screws right here, and then with a little bit of wiggling, the entire assembly comes off. Now you've got two hex screws on the side that screw into the hop-up, and then you just pull out the barrel. Alright, so this is the hop chamber that comes from the factory. We're going to take it apart and we're going to salvage a few parts from it. You need to take apart these 4 screws, save one of them. You need to take out this screw and save it, and there's an O-ring right underneath this gear. Alright, so now that that's apart, let's take out the screw here, save it, take out that gear. Here's this O-ring that's underneath it. Save that for later, and we'll save one of these screws too. If one of these little hex nuts falls out, it just goes in the bottom of the hop-up right here. Alright, so this here's the main chamber, and first we have these little barrel clips here. They have these little ridges on the side that you can't really see in the video, but they go into these little notches on the barrel there. You want to make sure that this little alignment ridge is aligned with the ridge on the hop-up rubber. They both fit together just like that, and they both have these little ridges on them. You want to make sure this lines up with the ridge on the hop-up rubber. And then it fits right into the chamber like so. I am using an aftermarket barrel and maple leaf bucking here, but it works perfectly fine with a factory barrel and the rubber. So here we have the clip and the arm, and these clip together. You want to make sure the arm is positioned like this, so it's not upside down. Clips in just like that. As you can see, they sort of flex just a little bit, and then it fits just on top of that rectangle part right here. And then you take the second screw that we took from the factory hop-up and you use it to screw the clip onto this rectangular mount here on the chamber. This screw also cinches down the barrel clips, so make sure you take this screw out if you decide to take the barrel out in the future. Now you're going to take the hop-up plate and you're going to install it concave side down. That's the concave side against the rubber. And I got really out of the frame here, but trust me, I did it. Next, you're going to want to get the hop-up adjustment wheel, and you're going to install it on that circular little mount on the hop-up chamber, and then you're going to get the O-ring and install that in the little cutout that's on the adjustment wheel. Now you're going to get the first screw that we got, the one with that kind of flat, wide head, and you're going to screw it in, cinching the O-ring against the hop-up adjustment wheel. The O-ring provides friction against the adjustment wheel so that the wheel can still be turned to adjust your hop-up, but it doesn't loosen itself and become out of adjustment when you shoot the gun. The screw should be tight enough that the adjustment wheel sits flat against the chamber and doesn't wobble, and it should be somewhat difficult to turn, but it shouldn't be so tight that it's impossible to turn by hand. Now we reassemble it. It's the same way we took it apart. The first time you do this, it may be difficult because the metal screw needs to cut its own threads into the plastic.